Hey guys, and welcome back to the show. I am Megan Hardy, your host and the founder of Fitness Uncharted. And this is where we talk about mindset and strategies that are going to help you to build muscle, lose body fat, improve your metabolism, and leave you feeling really freaking confident and empowered. So, today I want to talk about the secret to achieving your dream body and enjoying your life, because women often want to know how I am able to be as toned and as fit as I am, and also eat as much as I do and have as much fun, fitness life, social life balance as I do, because that's something I talk about a lot on social media. So women often see that and they're like, how the heck are you able to have, chocolate every night? Or how the heck are you able to, like, they see, I'll sometimes do grocery hauls on my Instagram stories and they're like, I see you put Reese's Puff cereal in your cart. Like, you actually eat that stuff? Like, how are you able to stay fit and toned with having these things and like having that balance? Or like, I see you do actually like go out or drink sometimes. Like, how are you able to do that? I want that. I want that food freedom, but I also want to work on my fitness goals. And how can I do both? And a lot of my clients actually who have signed up with me, they've told me, like, I want to work with you because I want what you have. Like, I want to be able to have food freedom and have my dream body. Like, I don't know that that's ever been possible for me, but that's something that I want. I just still don't know if that's really possible for me, but I want you to help me get there. And I speak from a place of like, I'm able to relate to them because I'm like, hey, that wasn't always the case for me. Like, my background, if you've listened to previous episodes or you've followed me at all on social media, I won't get all the way into the weeds with it, but like, my background was binging and restricting food. I had a very unhealthy relationship with food. I had a much higher body fat percentage. I managed to maintain a quote unquote healthy weight for the most part, but body fat percentage was much higher. I was much softer, more so the skinny fat, and unhealthy, like inside and outside, and like mentally, like in my relationship with food, like I wasn't in a great place. So like, I came from that and I've now gotten to the other side of experiencing, how can I actually enjoy life and not feel like I'm missing out on anything, but actually maintain like my quote unquote dream body. And even now, like, I feel funny even now saying like dream body, because I wouldn't even say like I have my dream body like in a conceited way. Because like, let's be honest, y'all, like, I would love to have bigger boobs. Like, I would love to actually just fill out a full A cup, you guys. Like, I'm not I'm not asking for a lot here. I'm not asking to be a double D sister or anything, but I would love to have a little bit more, to fill out my bathing suits and stuff. But I do have a lower body fat percentage, and naturally, where do women store some of their body fat in their boobs? So guess where the first place that I lose body fat from? My boobs. So, of course, like, my dream body, if I had to actually dream it up in my mind, would probably be me with bigger boobs. But that's not my lot in life. And I'm okay with that. Like, thank goodness my husband is a butt guy and not a boob guy. Right. So anyway, I just want you guys to know, like, I'm not coming from this place of, I hope you don't hear it as conceited or anything, but I have found this place of really, really being happy with my body and who I am. Also recognizing that our bodies, you guys, are really the least interesting thing about us. Like, I know that one day I'm going to be old and wrinkly and saggy, and my tattoos are not going to be cute anymore. And all of the sun exposure that I love getting is probably going to be with some nice leathery, saggy looking skin, all that good stuff. So like, I hope at the end of the day that like my personality, my spirit, my energy, like the Jesus in me, all of that, I'd rather that shine through than people just remember me for my body, because that's really the least interesting thing about me and the least interesting thing about you. Like, you're so much more than a body bag or sack of skin. Like, there's so much more depth to you. But with that being said, I know this podcast is largely about like our health and fitness. And a lot of us want to also get the physical part in alignment with who we feel we are, with the mental and emotional and spiritual space. That's also, I talk to a lot of women who are like, I feel like I finally got everything kind of put together in my life. Like, my relationships are good. my career is going great. Like my, kids and relationships with them are great. Like everything's in alignment, but I don't feel like I have the physical part down, or like I'm really struggling with food and my relationship with food. And so those are the things that I want to address with this episode, and speaking from my own experience with it and what has helped my clients with it. And so one of the secrets, quote unquote secrets, that's just like a buzzword, but one of the secrets that I will share with you that has really helped me achieve my quote unquote dream body while enjoying my life is having non-negotiables. Having non-negotiables, both in the health category and also in my personal life. So like if you guys are unfamiliar with non-negotiables, it's those things in your life that are non-negotiable. They are the things that they are a priority to you. You are going to be determined to make them happen. Like everything else is going to have to get out of the way because you are going to follow through with these non-negotiables. Like you are not willing to negotiate on this. This is something that is of value and importance to you that you are going to make happen. So, and that you're going to protect. So with a non-negotiable, that's a thing in your life that you're willing to protect. So, for instance, your kids are probably a non-negotiable, right? Like you're going to do whatever it takes to protect those children, to create time for your kids, to take care of your kids, all of that. Like that's a non-negotiable, right? So what we also need to do in order to have balance with our fitness life and our fun, personal, social, family life is we have to determine what those non-negotiables are. And it might feel like putting a phrase on it or something. It might feel restrictive, like in the sense of like, but then, oh my gosh, I have to stick to these non-negotiables, blah, blah, blah. But no, I'm telling you guys, once you actually determine what your non-negotiables are, it's going to create so much more freedom for you. So I'm going to give you some examples of just some of my non-negotiables. Okay. So in the health space, let's just start there. Let's start with health. Some of my non-negotiables, one is working out at the same time every morning. Same time every morning. And yes, there might be some variance, like if I, take a little longer to get ready, or, we know like when period strikes or something, like I can tack on an extra 5 minutes and I probably get to the gym like 5 minutes later. But for the most part, I am working out at the same time every morning. That's a non-negotiable for me because I know myself, and I know that if I wait until later in the day when I get started with work and when life just gets crazy, I'm not probably going to do it in the evenings. I used to be an evening workout girl, but now I'm like, I ain't got that energy to like that motivation. Like, I just don't want to be honest. I don't want to work out in the evening. I want to be done. I also feel so much better after a morning workout. And when I get back to my desk, I am ready to hit the ground running. I have high energy. I'm good to go versus like kind of slowly waking up in the morning and like rolling to my desk. It's the best way to start my day. So it's a non-negotiable for me. Morning workouts. Also, another one for me is not eating out during the weekdays. That's a non-negotiable for me. So like that means me meal planning or prepping my food and meal planning at the beginning of the week on Sundays. I always make sure I have a plan in place and that I've grocery shopped for the whole week, because not eating out during the week, it saves me money, it saves me time, and it saves my waistline. Okay. So that's a non-negotiable for me. That's also because on the fun personal non-negotiables, I want to leave. I know I'm probably going to want to have a meal out on the weekend. So in order to be able to do that and to also meet my fitness goals, I need to not be eating out during the week. Okay. So that doesn't mean that I don't ever eat out during the week. There are those cases where, I'm willing to put my non-negotiable to the side for the rare occurrence that it may be my mom asked to go out to lunch with me, or, maybe you have someone at work and you have a corporate lunch event and it's like, oh, well, here we are. I planned on eating my prepped food, but, we had lunch prepared for us, or, whatever the case is. Like I'm someone who would tell you put people first, like put those people first in your life. But if you're the person that falls on the opposite extreme and you're the one that's like, but my coworker every day wants to go out to lunch, well, that's where you may need to put in a non-negotiable for yourself if your fitness goals are important enough to you to say, hey, I'm not going to eat out during the week, or maybe I'm only going to eat out one time during the week. And you go out to lunch with them one day during the week, or you can still go out to lunch with them, but just bring your own packed lunch, right? So like, but if that's a non-negotiable for you, it's going to require you to put that above some other choices that you might otherwise make, right? So that's the point. Another non-negotiable for me is minimum 7 hours of sleep. That's a huge health non-negotiable. I function better that way. I know how important it is for our overall body and hormone health and fat loss efforts. And that's something for me that I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot trying to eat well and work out consistently if I'm just going to basically kill my efforts with like not getting enough sleep. You're really, for those of you out there who are like, hey, let me just wake up at 4 a.m., even if I only got 4 hours of sleep so I can get a workout in, you might actually be shooting yourself in the foot, because you might have been better off sleeping in and at least getting 5+ hours of sleep than getting that workout in for that day. So sleep is so important. That's a non-negotiable for me, for my health. Also drinking alcohol, a max of 1 day per week. So again, you guys, this is where I have the freedom and flexibility to drink more days of the week if I want to, but my current goal is max 1 day per week. Some weeks though, that may look like no drinks per week, and other weeks that may be like 2 days out of the week if I have like a social event or something like that. But for the most part, I try to be, 95% consistent with drinking alcohol a max of 1 day out of the week, because for me, that allows me to maintain my health and fitness goals while also enjoying maybe a dinner out with friends or something like that, and feeling like I can partake in a drink together, right? So that's that balance of, I still get to have the fun in the social life, but I'm also still working towards my goals. And I also allow myself the freedom and flexibility of, hey, max 1 day per week is my goal. But if there's also a week that, if it's a holiday weekend or something like that, and I do happen to drink 2 days out of the week, I'm not going to beat myself up, because if I know I'm 95% consistent with 1 day per week max, I have that freedom and flexibility to, kind of go off course a little bit here or there. And I don't have to feel bad about it because I'm consistent 95% of the time with that non-negotiable. So again, guys, there's a lot of flexibility here. And even back to the non-negotiable of sleep, right? Like there are some nights that I'm not able to get 7 hours of sleep. And if you're a mom out there, that's not always possible. Like good luck some days, some nights getting 7 hours, or getting even 6 hours or whatever it is. But there are things you can do to work towards that, and then give yourself grace for the days and times that it's just not possible. But that can still be one of your goals and one of those non-negotiables for your health. So those are just some of my health non-negotiables. This is where I encourage you to start thinking about, what are your health non-negotiables, those things that are going to help move the needle on your fitness goals, and that you are willing to actually say no to other things in order to hold true to your non-negotiable, in order to prioritize that thing. And then as far as fun and personal non-negotiables, that's the other thing that's really important, to actually set those, because I was actually did a live training in our free Facebook group, our Fitness Uncharted Facebook group. If you're not in it, you want to go join it because it's great. It's free to join. The link is in the show notes, so you can go check it out there. But one of the women in that group chimed in and was like, wow, I've never actually even thought about what are my my non-negotiables for fun. Like, cause she's a mom of 2. And she was like, I don't even know what mine are. And I'm like, that's a super important thing to figure out, because that'll help determine other area, that'll help you make decisions in your life. Right. So for instance, for me, one of my non-negotiables is having a diet, or I really hate the D word, but we all know what I mean, as far as having a diet or a nutrition protocol where I can have flexibility and still have my quote unquote fun foods. That's a non-negotiable for me. I'm not going to have any kind of nutrition protocol or nasty A meal plan that's like chicken and broccoli only all day, every day, because that's, first of all, gag, but that's just like, no, that's a non-negotiable for me. Like that's even part of the reason why, people ask like, oh, do you want to compete? Or, you could get on the stage, whatever. And I'm like, I ain't willing to do some of the stuff that I know it takes when you're getting stage ready, because some of my non-negotiables are being able to have some chocolate at night, because I love sweets. And recently I've been on a Dove chocolate kick where I'm having four, a serving size of Dove chocolates most nights. And I want that flexibility to be able to do that. I want a nutrition protocol where I can have that food freedom and flexibility to enjoy some of the fun foods. That's a non-negotiable. So I'm not going to go do some diet or work towards some goal that doesn't align with that and doesn't allow me to do that. Right. Another one is my evening walks with my husband, Justin. It's one of those things. Some of you guys might be like, that sounds like a health non-negotiable to me. But for me, that's a really precious time that I get with him, and that we always chat about our day. We get that special time together, and that's a time that I want to protect. Right. So yes, it is also exercise, but I love walking, and that's very stress relieving for me. So that's a time that I really try to protect. Does that mean that every evening we get to go on a walk? Like sometimes it's raining, or sometimes we have like some emergency thing crop up, or we both have something in the evenings. And yeah, that's not always able to happen, but it is one of those things, one of those non-negotiables that I really try to protect for the most part. Another one is for me, a fun non-negotiable is allowing myself one day out of the week to have time with family or friends. Whether that's a date night, or that's a family day, or whatever that might look like. But for me, I know my personality is more so a workaholic. Like here I am recording this podcast and getting a bunch of work done on a Saturday. So I know like, hey, tomorrow or maybe later this evening or something, I need to allow myself time for a date night or time to see one of my friends or something like that. Cause my MO is to just put my head down and keep working. And so one non-negotiable for me is like, hey, I don't want to be so busy with life and with my business and work to not prioritize the people in my life that I love. I also don't want a diet or a fitness lifestyle that doesn't allow me the freedom and flexibility to go have fun with my friends and family at least one day per week. Right. So that's a fun personal life non-negotiable. So you guys have to figure out your non-negotiables so that you can prioritize your life correctly. For instance, like let's say if one of your non-negotiables is being able to go out with your husband on date night, okay? And you want to be able to have 2 to 3 beers on date night, which is totally cool, right? That's like moderate. But if that's the case, then keto, doing keto as a diet is probably not going to fit with your lifestyle and your non-negotiable, right? If your non-negotiable is being able to have 2 to 3 drinks, 2 to 3 beers on date night, keto, you're going to be thrown out of ketosis, girlfriend. You're going to be, falling off the wagon, out of ketosis, feeling guilty about your beer, all of that. So that's probably not a lifestyle that, that's going to fit with your non-negotiable, right? Of being able to enjoy date night and enjoy a couple beers with your husband. Or let's say, as another example, if having time in the evenings with your family, let's say that's a non-negotiable for you. Like you really, the kids are off running all day. You and your husband are, working all day, whatever. You really want to protect that evening time with your kids and with your family. Well, then let's say signing up for 75 hard, where you have to work out twice a day and your only free time is in the early morning and in the evenings. That's probably not the right choice for you, because you probably don't want to spend the rest of your evening working out again when you are trying to prioritize that family time. If that's a non-negotiable for you, it automatically helps you make the right decisions for yourself and your lifestyle, because then you would go, you know what? I don't think 75 hard meets is going to be conducive for my non-negotiables, right? Or let's even look on the health side of things. So sometimes we're going to have to say no to some fun things because we have health non-negotiables as well. So let's say if your non-negotiable is 7+ hours of sleep, like mine is, that's one of my goals. That means that sometimes I don't get to binge watch 3 episodes of Netflix at night. Like, which is a real bummer, especially when you really get into a show. Like, we all love to binge at least 2. Like, sometimes I'm like, just give me 2 episodes back to back. I would love that. But maybe I only get to watch 1, because two more episodes would mean that I would get less than 7 hours of sleep, and sleep is one of my non-negotiables. So that means that I have to remember my non-negotiable. I have to say, hey, like this Netflix show is really great. I'm really into it. I really don't feel like going to bed, but I'm going to hate myself in the morning when I'm really tired and not feeling good. And the repercussions aren't worth another episode. And my non-negotiable is getting this much sleep. So I'm going to turn it off. I know I'm going to be able to come back and watch the next episode tomorrow, and it's all good. But like, it does mean saying no to some things, right? So that's where, like, if you don't know what you stand for, then you're not going to know what you stand against. And that doesn't even mean that you're standing against anything quote unquote bad. Like, actually, like all of those things that I just mentioned, like they could be good things. Like, Netflix isn't inherently bad. There's nothing wrong with Netflix. Or like going out for drinks with a friend, like that, going out for drinks with the girls, like that's not bad. That's great too. Right. Or let's say playing golf for 7 hours on a Saturday. Justin, and if any of you ladies have golf husbands or golf, boyfriends or whatever out there, when they say, they're like, oh yeah, it'll only be like 4 hours. It's not that long. You're like, no, we know this is about to be like a 7 or 8 hour commitment. But anyway, I digress. But like, golf isn't inherently bad, right? But if it conflicts with one of your non-negotiables, then you need to rethink that decision and potentially say no. So like, golf husbands, for instance, if one of your non-negotiables is Saturday family day, then maybe you don't take 8 hours to go play golf with your buddies on this Saturday, right? Like it helps you make those decisions for yourself. So like, there's a way to find balance with all of it. But if you don't know what you stand for, you don't know what to stand against. You don't have any clear boundaries or perimeters. So right now, you listening to this, your homework is to go and to write down your non-negotiables. Okay. So both your health non-negotiables and then also your personal non-negotiables. And then once you determine what those priorities are, it will help you make much clearer decisions. And it will help you also pick the right diet. It'll help you pick the right exercise routine, the right lifestyle that actually takes into consideration your non-negotiables. And that, my friends, is how you simultaneously work towards your fitness goals at the same time as also enjoying life. Once I got clear on my non-negotiables, that's when I was able to actually do both at the same time. Okay. And that's how I'm able to maintain a level of fitness that I am while still having this balance and a social life and personal life. And that's where, it's like people will ask me if I'm working towards something with my health fitness goals because of the shape that I'm in. And I'm not even the most fit person. Like, if you are just listening to this and you don't know what I look like, whatever, like I ain't pretending to be the most ripped, shredded person, but I'm in a pretty decent state of fitness. But I'm like, no, I'm not working towards anything, although it might seem like I am with my fitness goals, like trying to get stage ready or compete or whatever. But I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm able to maintain this level of fitness while also maintaining balance in my social life because I know what my priorities are. I know what my non-negotiables are. And so I hope this helps some of you guys. And I want you to seriously take this to heart. Go do that homework, write down your non-negotiables. And that way you can have more clarity in your life. And that way you can work towards both your fitness goals and those food freedom and balance goals. Okay. So if you found this episode helpful, please share it to your stories and tag me as well, because I would love to know just who it helped, and also would love to give you a little shout out too. So that's it for today, you guys. I will catch you on the next episode.